Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Taking a quick look here at Bonk. We're going to double check a few key factors here. We're just going to take a quick look here at this trend line. Obviously, we want to determine a few other things too, but generally speaking, it is working itself into somewhat of a descending trend line, right? In other words, if we break this descending trend line, that could be a green light to want to go forward. Keep in mind, trend lines are not perfect, and you can use candle wicks or candlesticks. I get that question all the time. Generally speaking, though, at this point, we have more than one touch, so effectively, candle wicks are just fine. The truth is, the price has broken free from this tentative range at about 1325, so we'll discuss that here as well. So just note, if you're not financial advisor, neither am I. I just love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something today. If you do want to learn something more, cryptocash.tech is a site, link down below. I've got a trading academy, community, and signal group. Quick congrats to our members here, and thank you so much for the awesome feedback. We do take some profits here from Adam, good 47% in 6 days. That trade was looking dicey for a little bit, but that's how swing trades work, folks. You gotta survive the ebbs and flows. Same thing as Crowcoin here, 3 days, 20%. These are just nice 5x leverage longs. We've got a few other trades open right now, considering a few others as well, but we want to see, is Bonk going to be worth the consideration? So daily time frame, let's work our way down, see where we're at. We are above all moving averages at this point. This is actually quite amazing considering everything that we've seen here so far. So the good news is we're above all those moving averages. Does that mean we take a long position? No. It just implies that if we take a long one, we can have a lot more confidence knowing it'll probably stay in the upward momentous direction, right? That's generally the concept. Once more here as well, same thing as well. Up over 50 on the RSI, money flow index is high, and we can see, of course, the stochastic swinging upwards. That's a good sign. MACD trying to converge too. So we got some really positive contributing factors here for Bonk. Daily time frame looks honestly pretty good. So there's no other way around it. We got a small amount of liquidity up here at about 1450 and a larger fair value gap that's mostly filled just below it. So nothing too out of the ordinary here for this coin. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, let's double check a couple of things here. So before we jump in here, we want to double confirm here that we do have a second stochastic swing to the upside. Those carry a lot more weight than the first. RSI is breaking 70, and of course, right there at 70 for the money flow index. These are all bullish signs. You got to recognize, though, this coin is getting to the overextended side, so a pullback would make sense if we cannot close above this level here at about 1330, 1325. Again, you can see this level here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's like 10 to 15 candles that haven't broken through this level yet in the last, roughly 10 days of trading. So we can see this here. We wicked up, yes, but we haven't closed above yet, right? So 1330 or higher to me makes more sense to consider a long position once we have that confirmation, so to speak. Hourly time frame, we can clarify a few things here. We're at a 9 on TD sequential. Another reason maybe not to consider just taking a long right now. It might be better to consider a long position if the price pulls back to the more recent fib levels. Now, based on fib levels here, we can go ahead and pull up some more tentative ones, of course, and we can kind of see that the price action is right there at that resistance, okay? Again, that's a more recent one. If we go with a little bit larger of a time frame here, which may be just a little bit more appropriate in the situation here, we go with a bit bigger, we can recognize that 0.786 at 1385 will be the next resistance level for us. If the price does end up pulling back, we could see 1280 or 1240. Secondary or tertiary targets there. Now, is this an exact science? No. Key fib levels always change, and they're consistently adjusting depending on what time frames you draw them on. Okay, so this is kind of more of a midterm scenario here. It's not the largest time frame, but generally speaking, that is where we're at. I'll post this playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you know specifically what that looks like. Just keep in mind, they're always fairly consistent in this case, and you can find those over there. But what I want to get at is when I post a playout chart, they're not always guaranteed to happen. Okay, you got to recognize this. Just because the price could pull back to this lower fib level doesn't mean it will. But the statistical probability based on everything so far being bullish is a fairly high probability. And if it pulls back, we know better if the price were to enter that range that might be a better consideration, right? So again, a lot of reasons to be patient here. We're right at the top. Bitcoin's, maxing itself out at 54.5 range. Unless it can continue to leg up, I think this coin would make sense for it to consolidate in this range here. Maybe that 1280 between 1330 mark, and then the next leg up from there. Okay, we got a pretty substantial cup pattern here. We're just looking for our handle, right, where the price action comes down and bounces off a more recent fib. Okay, so it's not an exact science again, but definitely something we want to pay attention to. And the long story short here is that you just shouldn't, and this is the common narrative for today, you shouldn't consider shorting this coin. Literally everyone that shorted a moment ago, like 2 or 3 hours ago before Bitcoin went bonkers for the second time, got liquidated, okay? And I've been saying all day long, do not short this coin. It doesn't make any sense. If you short, you're going to get destroyed. While you could find some success, and it might be a good bragging point for you on Twitter, so you can show how awesome you are at shorting, a very risky situation. It's not worth it. You're traveling uphill. Why try to fight the current? It makes no sense. So, to me personally, if you're going to wait, be patient here. Look for a candlestick closure at 1330 or higher today. That might be a consideration for a long. I'd much rather an entry at just 1280, 1290 personally, if it even pulls back to that level. Okay, but again, if it does, I'm going to be mindful and pay attention, and I'm going to go ahead and set alert to see if that is the case, and I'm going to reevaluate before I jump in blindly. But again, all green lights on the HMobile cloud. There's zero reasons to short this coin right now. Okay, even though it may pull back and probably will, it's much more worthwhile to consider another long later than it is to short down to that level that may never happen. Okay, all right, folks. Hope that made sense. Keep in mind too, they're adding Bitunix is adding Bonk to their exchange as well. I've submitted the request here. $5,500 in benefit rewards. Use my link to register. Highly recommend them. No KYC, no VPN. Phenomenal exchange for my US and Canadian members, even those who are outside of those countries that just want to have a better, more consistent exchange. Check them out. They're really awesome. I do want to say thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.